Now, Iran's Attorney General says the country's morality police, which is tasked with enforcing the country's Islamic dress code, is being disbanded. Mohammed Jafar Montazeri's comments, yet to be confirmed by other agencies, were made at an event on Sunday. Iran has seen months of protests over the death of a young woman in custody. Mahsa Amini had been detained by the morality police for allegedly breaking strict rules on head coverings. Rights groups say more than 440 people have been killed, and the ensuing crackdown, in the ensuing crackdown by the authorities. Now, an Iranian opposition group based in London says one of its offices in the city has been firebombed by supporters of the Iranian government. The People's Mujahideen Organization of Iran has called on the UK police to take strong action against what they described as terrorists who carried out the attack early this morning. There were no casualties. The British intelligence service, MI5, says it has uncovered more than 10 plots by Iran to kidnap or kill UK-based opponents of the Tehran government in the past few months. Well, for more on this attack in London and reports that Iran is scrapping its morality police, let's speak now to the activist Laila Jayaeri from the Association of Anglo-Iranian Women. She joins me now from London. Thank you so much for joining us. These were your offices that were attacked in London, were they?
Well, the offices belongs to the Iranian Community Center that are linked to the People's Mujahideen Organization of Iran, MEK. At about 10 to 2 a.m. Local time, the neighbors hear some explosive. They come out and they see that someone who had just thrown a Molotov cocktail was running away. It seems like, the exterior of the building was all damaged, it all was burned. The police and the fire brigade, they all came, they sealed the area. It seems basically that the Iranian regime, unable to contain the ongoing protests uprising inside Iran, it has now resorted to expanding its suppression to outside Iranian borders. Basically, they know that People's Mujahideen Organization of Iran, MEK, is by far the most organized opposition to the regime, with its resistance units at the forefront of the uprising. Also abroad, the MEK and its supporters, likes of us, are quite effective. We are leading a highly effective campaign, organized campaign. We contact the governments, we contact politicians, we ask them to put pressure on the Iranian regime with regards to its human rights. The regime knows that what happened last week at the UN Human Rights Council, the resolution against the regime for formation of fact-finding mission, it was all done as a result of long-term work by MEK and its supporters. So basically, they are trying to scare us, to silence us abroad too. But I don't think they would be able to do that.
Right. Well, I'm sorry for what happened at your offices there. And the good news, of course, is that no one was hurt. But let's move on to the other story out of Iran. It's almost 2 days since Iran's Attorney General announced that the country's morality police has been disbanded, but still we've heard of no official announcement. What should we make of this ongoing silence of sorts? Were those just throwaway comments from the Attorney General?
I think you're right. This silence, basically, I don't think there is anything serious about it. What remains is the continuation of suppression. This person, head of judiciary, said it in an ambiguous, non-transparent statement that the issue of morality police does not relate to us. Whoever founded it, they have also abolished it. But it was, as you said, was never officially announced. And only today, a colonel of the regime, head of the Greater Tehran police information said that today is not about these talks. We should not talk about these issues. And one of the regime's deputies in the parliament said that the hijab and chastity plan will start in 2 weeks' time,
right,
and emphasize, in fact, that we have raised the price for those who will not cover.
I need to ask you a question quickly. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
People have been executed.
Right. Okay. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Laila, but I need to ask you a very important question so we don't run out of time. In terms of reform, how significant would it be if the morality police is abolished? Because it was the death of Mahsa Amini in their custody that sparked this riot.
Correct. I think after 700 deaths and 30,000 arrests, the Iranian people have passed this stage. From day one, they were demanding regime change. They were saying, down with Khamenei. This does not change anything. And the people are focusing on regime change. And these are all tactical. I think the regime is playing a game. As I mentioned, in the last 5 days, 13 people have been executed, including one woman, and Amnesty International just announced 28 more are waiting for execution. The regime cannot stop the protest. Today, it's another surge of protest. It's the Students' Day, 3 days of nationwide protest. In Tehran, the capital, 40 locations, protests and strikes in over 80 cities. So you see, it's very much ongoing, and regime cannot prevent the continuation of it and resorts to this kind of tactical issues.
Well, let me ask you this then, Laila. How much is this comment by the Attorney General indicative of the fact that, of the kinds of conversations that might be taking place inside the government, that they clearly have a very big problem on their hands, and short of continuing to kill and imprison their people, they need to find a way of dealing with this crisis?
In fact, it shows that that Khamenei has come to a dead end. He has no solution. He has used its all force. He has cracked down on the protesters. He has already killed 700 people, and there are 30,000 arrests and more, and now execution. So they have failed to stop the protests despite crackdown. They've come to a dead end. They don't know what to do. It has created conflict in the head of the regime, within the Khamenei's faction. And that is why one person says something, the other one denies. But in reality, what remains is the apparatus of suppression and repression that continues.
And so for people like yourself, opponents of the government and the protesters on the streets in Iran, they're still determined to dismantle the theocracy in spite of the fact that people are being killed and imprisoned in large numbers?
As I said, today, tomorrow, and on the 7th of December, there is 3 days of nationwide protest again. It's called the Students' Day. It's the anniversary of the day of 7th of December 1953, at the time of the previous regime, Shah, when he opened fire on the university students in Tehran and killed many. So every year, university students and people celebrate today. On that occasion, anniversary, there is 3 days of uprising and very much going on in Tehran. Various bazaars are all closed. People are on strike. Students are on protest. Strikes in over 80 cities. So very much the protests continue inside Iran, despite all these, as I said, tactical announcements.
Laila, I want to thank you very much indeed. And again, we sympathize with you for the attack on those offices that are linked to you in London. And Laila Jayaeri is from the Association of Anglo-Iranian Women, and she was talking to me there from London.